Shall be kept for 30 days as a matter of public record. Pledge of Allegiance led by Robert. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. President Sanchez, present. Myself, present. Dr. Carol Robinson, present. Jim Bender, absent. Mario Gutierrez, present. And student member, absent. Got a motion to approve agenda?
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
One second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 4, 1 absent. All right. Now it's time for the Board of Trustees organizational meeting. Portion A, recognition of trustees, Yolanda Sanchez and Dr. Carol Robinson.
At this time, I'd like to ask Dr. Carol Robinson to come forward. Dr. Robinson, on behalf of Southern Kern Unified School District, I want to read you this plaque of appreciation. With deep appreciation for your 2 years of distinguished service and quality leadership as a member of the Board of Trustees, Southern Kern Unified School District from 2018 to 2020. We say thank you so much for deciding to be a service member to this community. Thank you so much. Appreciate it very much. This is Thank you. Thank you. And at this time, I'd like to ask President Yolanda Sanchez to come up. President Sanchez, it's my honor and pleasure to present you with this plaque from Southern Kern Unified School District and your fellow members of the Board of Trustees. Yolanda Sanchez, with deep appreciation for your 4 years of distinguished service and quality leadership as a member of the Board of Trustees, Southern Kern Unified School District from 2016 to 2020. We thank you for your service. Thank you.
All right, next up, 5B will administer the oath to newly elected trustees. First up, Mr. Vincelette. Mrs. Gaines will administer you the oath.
Good evening, Mr. Vincelette, and welcome.
Good evening, Barbara. Thank you.
You're very welcome. When I say I, please respond with your name and then repeat after me. Okay? Please raise your right hand. Oh, you got it right there. Fantastic.
Hey, you got a super assistant.
I'm very excited.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Okay.
I, Robert Vincelette,
do solemnly swear
swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear
true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California
I will take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge
I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I'm about to enter. Yay!
Thank you, congratulations.
Thank you, everybody. Now, I'm ready for my buddy.
All right, next up will be Mr. Moore. Did we do both?
Both of you? Sure. Okay. When I say I, just repeat for me, okay? And repeat after me. I
DeWine Moore Jr.
do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties upon which I'm about to enter.
discharge the duties of which I'm about to enter.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay. You're allowed to leave that. Oh, great. All right.
Okay. So here for that. And then we're gonna take offices.
Mr. Vincelette wants to make a comment?
Yes, I want to make a comment. We'll let going. DeWine?
DeWine?
Yes. My comment is for you, sir. I applaud you. I ask everybody to give you a standing ovation. Being the youngest member of this board, I'm looking forward to it, and I know the rest of the board will be looking forward to working with you. I'm sorry I can't be there to celebrate with everybody, but I tell you what, we're going to have a hell of a celebration when the time comes. Mario, is Mario there?
Yeah, I'm here, sir.
Yes, he is.
Mario, I'm ready to serve with you again.
All right.
Let's get it done.
All right.
Bob. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Bob.
Mr. Vincelette. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect now.
You may, sir. I'm going to see if I can join on YouTube.
Okay.
All right.
And next up is the election of board officers, Mrs. Gaines.
Yes, at this time, Board of Trustees, I would like to ask for a nomination for the position of President of the Southern Kern Unified School District Board of Trustees.
I would like to nominate Mr. Tanksley for the presidency.
Okay, Mr. Tanksley. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, Dr. Green. I have a motion and a second to nominate Mr. Larry Tanksley as President of the Board of Trustees. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, Mr. Tanksley, you are now the board president. You can move on from there.
All right. Next up, I'll sit right here, somebody mic. Can we get a nomination for the office of vice president? I'd like to nominate Mr. Gutierrez for the office of vice president.
I second.
Second by Moore. All those in favor?
Aye.
Gutierrez.
Okay, for the clerk, I'm going to toss you into the deep end.
Okay.
I would like to nominate Jim Bender. He's been here for a couple of years, even though he's not here tonight, but he knows where we're at. So if that would be all right, everyone, nominate Jim Bender.
Second.
Okay. Mr. Moore, second. And Bender for clerk. All those in favor? Aye.
Although he doesn't know he's getting into it. No, I'm joking.
All right. Next up, ask for a nomination for the office for a representative to the county.
I used to do that years ago. I have not done that. The last 2 years I've been really busy with business. If somebody else could take it, that'd be great. If nobody wants it. What that entails, Dwayne, is we go to, there's a meeting in Bakersfield twice a year? Or once a year? And we represent our district on House for whatever issues are going on. Okay. So,
It will be an alternate.
I think I can do that.
when it comes around, I'll try to be available to go.
Okay.
So I will nominate Dwayne for that position.
Okay. Nominated by Mario, second by Tanksley. Mr. Moore for county representative. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Two absent. Okay, and we have to have an alternate as well.
I will take the alternate.
Okay. Make a motion for Mr. Gutierrez,
Second.
seconded by Moore. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Two absent. And then the last one will be for Antelope Valley School Board Association representative. Is that just a representative? That's no voting or anything, right? That's just a rep?
Just a rep from this district, it is an important position as they expect that rep to attend.
Okay.
Do you have to make a vote on that? Okay. I go to most of them, so. And Barbara doesn't, she's not. Okay, I'm gonna nominate myself for that position.
All right. Well, I'll nominate you. Tanksley nominates Gutierrez,
Moore seconds.
second by Moore. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Two absent. All right, next up, item E, to approve the 2021 board meeting calendar dates at 12-month or an 18-month cycle, virtual and/or locations to be determined, subject to additional meeting or changes as we go throughout the year. Mrs. Gaines?
Yes, thank you, President Tanksley. This is basically giving the Board of Trustees two options to either approve a 12-month calendar that Ms. Sally has provided for you, or extending an 18-month calendar for our board meetings. So those are your two options.
When I look them over, there really isn't that much difference if we do just 12 months or 18 months. I say let's go ahead and approve an 18-month calendar, and we can always visit any changing dates when necessary.
You have any comments, Mr. Moore?
I do not. I think the 18 months is a good idea.
All right, I do concur as well, so we'll make the selection of the January 1, 2021 through June 30th, 2021, 18 months. That should be 2022. 2022. 18 months. Can I get a motion?
Make a motion?
I second.
James Moore. All those in favor?
Aye.
2 absent. All right. Next up is the 2021 board. Next up is the 2021 board subcommittee volunteer assignments. I know with 2 people missing, we'll just assign them in where we think they're interested, right? A lie,
Well,
or you want to table it? We can't.
For the
It's
assignments?
this organization. Yeah.
we can just,
Yeah, okay.
I'd like to get the, I'm on planning, so review,
Yes,
so we can fix that one.
okay. So for number 5, projects and planning, that'll be Tanksley and Gutierrez. I know for a fact Mr. Vincelette's gonna want to be on budget.
I was on budget, correct? So,
Yes, you would.
so I'll stay there.
What were you under?
Budget,
Budget, okay. All right, Mr. Moore, you gonna be on board policies with me?
I definitely will.
Okay, Mr. Moore and Tanksley for board policies. Athletics, Vincelette and Bender.
okay,
Good with that?
yeah, I'm good with that.
Curriculum,
That's not my strong suit, so.
I'll take one.
okay, we'll be on curriculum with myself. I'll stick to Mr. Moore. Discipline review. Mario
I think.
and Bender. And Bender. Let's see, where's that 222 calendar? Mario voting on 1, 2, 3 calendar Vincelette. And Bender's already on Bender. And then info technology, more intensely again. Good with that, IT?
Yes, sir.
All right. Go.
Mr. President, who did we place on calendar?
Calendar, Vincelette, and Bender. That gives everybody, Mario has 1, 2, 3. Gives everybody pretty spread out, pretty even. Good there? All right, next up, reports and communications. First one, student board member, if you're listening, we would like a report. I know there are things going on at the high school. They did have a sale, they did have drama event, they did have some other things going on, so it'd be nice to get something from you, if you can attend, that we can read of what's going on at the high school.
At least the email.
Yeah, email to Miss Sally, and we can just read it for you. Any report from RTA?
No reports.
No report from RTA. CSEA report? None? Okay. CBO report, Mr. Irving.
Yeah, well, thank you, Gaines, for approving me last week. It's been a busy week. Getting reacclimated to the district and everything. Our office is running smoothly for now. We're getting ready for end of year, W-2s, 1099s, all that. And that's been about it. I'm just trying to get caught up to speed on what's happened in the last 14 months or so since I left.
All right. Thank you. Next up.
Congratulations to DeWine and Mr. Vincelette, and Mr. Tanksley is remaining on the board. Thank you to Ms. Sanchez and Dr. Robinson. They did a great job while they were here. Very busy week. Looking forward to some time off. Hopefully everybody is also looking forward to some time off with their family and, being able to rest and be revitalized when they come back in January. So with that, just happy holidays and Christmas.
Next up, Superintendent Report.
Thank you, President Tanksley. I would like to welcome everyone who's joining us this evening. I also want to take this opportunity to thank Dr. Carol Robinson and Yolanda Sanchez for their service on this board. It has been a real pleasure working with them this past year and a half. I had the pleasure of working with them on board policies, and you have to read a lot, and they did such an outstanding job. I wish them very well and in their future endeavors, and they will be missed. I also want to welcome Mr. Vincelette. I think we would all agree he's very excited to join the board. I haven't seen that level of enthusiasm in a while, and I also want to welcome my wonderful DeWine over here. Who would have thought just that quickly you moved from a high school ASB representative to an elected official. DeWine, we're very, very proud of you being the youngest board member in the state of California. Quite an accomplishment, I must say.
Yes.
Yeah, and I want to say that I want to thank my associate Ms. Hargis. She's been really, really just jumping in and helping me. We have a lot going on right now. One of the things that we've been talking about is forming a committee in the near future. We don't know exactly when yet, to tackle the issue of grades and grading in Southern Kern. So we want to get a committee of teachers and administrators together so that we all understand the issues of grading is not how we grade, but why we give students grades. And so we had the pleasure of talking via Zoom with Mr. Ken O'Connor, who is renowned for his work in the United States on grading. And he's really, really looking forward to working with us in Southern Kern for a couple of years, perhaps a year or two, to really create a grading policy that we can one day bring to the Board of Trustees for approval. So that's one of the things we have going. Yesterday, a team from West Park, we started the NGSS, Next Generation Science Standard, worked with we are the district representing Kern County, and so there's a team from West Park who have agreed to address a problem of practice, and yesterday was their first meeting with the whole cohort representing Kern County, San Luis Obispo, Ventura, and also Santa Barbara. So we're honored to have been the selected district to work in that group. We also had our first continuous improvement meeting today with Mr. Chip Wilson from Kern County, and we have teams representing all 6 schools working on our continuous improvement. Again, coming to a realization of what is our problem and what are the barriers and how do we address that problem impacting student learning. So a lot going on right now before we go on vacation. And I just want to thank all my classified, my teachers, my leadership team for hanging in there and doing such great work. And I want to wish everyone in our community, our parents and family members, a very safe and joyous holiday. I know there's a lot of illness out there, and I just advise everybody to stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent Gaines. Next up is board member communications. Mr. Moore.
First of all, I want to say thank you to all those who have supported me to get where I am today. As you can tell, I must have really loved being a student board member because here I am. First of all, I want to say I went to preschool across the tracks, and I've been in this school district since kindergarten. I graduated from here. This is a very wonderful district, and I'm glad to be a part of it and be on the board and serve our teachers and students. I want to say thank you to all the teachers, our classified staff, and administrators for all you have done for this district, and have a happy holidays, and just know, students and teachers, I got your back.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. Next up, Mr. Gutierrez.
First, I want to congratulate DeWine for getting on the board and Bob Vincelette. And I want to thank Yolanda and Carol Robinson for being on the board and helping out with doing a great job while they were here. We never had crosswords in our board meeting like I've seen others, which is great. Our district always likes to work together. Last week I wasn't able to be here, but I did watch it all on YouTube. That was awesome. I got to make sure that I use the mic because I couldn't hear people on this side. With that, I just wish everybody a Merry Christmas, be safe, and we will be getting back to you right after Christmas. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gutierrez. For me, I'll go ahead and welcome Mr. Vincelette and Mr. Moore to the board. Look forward to working with both of you. Thanks for service for Mrs. Robinson and Mrs. Sanchez. They went through some very tough times, meat grinder, so to speak, and they performed very well and came out the other side. Welcome, Mr. Robert Irving. Welcome to the show and keep us on track, my man. And as a board, now that we're coming together, we'll meld with the superintendent and we'll figure out our way forward, what our goals are, how we want to forge the district, where we want to take it. And I know the superintendent will get us there, okay, get us to that finish line. And I've got to give my plug that I give every meeting, police, community, school staff, students. Please stay safe, remain vigilant, try to stay at home for the holidays, do practice your physical distancing, wear your mask, and remember no large groups because you take out a bunch of folks and put them at risk. So I'm going to give you that until this is over. That's going to be my kid statement. Next up is...
Mr. President, I have a statement from Mr. Vincelette.
Okay. Yes,
Mr. Vincelette has asked me just to let the board know that he is very honored to be serving on this board and working with Larry, Mario, and Jim, and especially DeWine. He believes, Mr. Vincelette believes you're going to be a breath of fresh air on this board, DeWine, and he's just very excited to be working with you. And also he said working with me, so I thank him for that, and we hope to see him here in our January meeting. So thank you.
Next up, comments from the public. They're email only. Members of the public may address the board at any time within the jurisdiction of the board by submitting presentation requests to the secretary. Members of the public are strongly urged not to mention personnel by name and are reminded that they do not have immunity from legal action if personnel are named. The board may limit each speaker to 3 with a total of 20 minutes per topic. Ms. Sally, do we have any board comments?
No board comments received today.
No board comments received. Next is consent items A through E. Board members, do we have any questions on A through E?
I do have a couple questions. On the proposal, is that part of A through E? Should I see it up there? Yes, it is up there. Item D, I saw no monetary value attached to anything there.
For the equipment.
It's going out to bid.
It's just for bidding?
Yes.
Okay, because, yeah, there was no monetary value anywhere in there, and I have a problem putting out stuff out there with no, that open-ended anyways. Okay, so if it's just going out to bid, I will accept it.
Okay.
Do you have any questions on it?
No, I do not.
No questions? Okay, can I have a
I
motion?
will make a motion to accept A through E.
Okay, Mr. Gutierrez, motion.
More seconds.
Moore, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. General Classified School Employee Summer Assistance Program, Mr. Irving, information.
All right. So, last week, CSEA, as part of their statement to the board, Gary requested, the district look into the classified school employee summer assistance program. So I spent, last week and the early part of this week, doing as much research as I could beforehand so that I could give a presentation with, a little bit of information. So, alright, so the background of the program is, the gist of it is that for employees who are eligible, they can contribute up to 10% of their monthly income to this program, and the state will match up to a dollar for dollar basis. So, currently funding for the 21-22 school year is $60 million statewide. So if the amount of people that put in for it, if it comes in at less than 60 million, it would be a dollar for dollar. If it comes in at higher than that, it would then be prorated down to, 90 cents, 80 cents, depending, it all depends on how many people participate and how much money that they contribute. All right, the eligibility is, there are a few criteria. Classified employees at the time of enrollment cannot earn more than $62,400. You have to be employed for at least 1 full year before you can enroll. And in 11, it's designed to, let me go back a little bit, but since classified school employees, typically they're working 10, 11 months, they might have a summer where they don't get anything. So the design is to help supplement that. So if you're an 11-month employee who moves to a 12-month position, then you move into a category where you're no longer eligible for the program. And here is a definition of what it means to be 11 months, where, especially on the payroll side, there's, 11-month employees, is that how many checks they're getting, how many just months they work, period. Numbers kind of bounce around, so the state provides a concrete example of if you're working August to June, then that's what they consider 11 months. But if your number of work days are, like our secretaries and IT, I believe, start a little bit towards the end of July, but work into June. So while they might be on a 11-month calendar workday wise, where they might have get the full spring break off, a good chunk of winter break, in terms of working days, they're still paid over 12 months, and it's part of their regular, monthly take home every month, July through June to get a check.
Now, are they considered a full month?
For the sake of this program, they would be, because they get paid at the end of July, and then they get paid at the end of June also.
Full paychecks.
Yes.
So they consider a full month.
Yeah, at least as far as this program's concerned, and then within CSEA contract, there's other language on vacation of 12-month being a certain amount of working days versus 225 versus 215 or something like that. I don't remember that off the top of my head. And this is our timeline for the program. If we're going to participate, we need to notify classified employees before January 1st, which is also part of why I wanted to hurry up and get information about this to you guys, because we're basically out of time with the holidays. But the employees have to, or we have to notify employees, classified employees, by January 1st. And then March 1st is the cutoff for employees to notify the district, yes, they would like to be enrolled. And by April 21st, we have to tell the state, yes, we already told our people that we would, our classified employees that were going to participate. Here's a rough estimate of who and how much. And then by June of 2021, we'll find out how many people are participating and what the state matches. And beyond that, everything will go into the end of 2022 school year. People getting their contribution back plus the match, the district putting in for reimbursement with the state. And then in fall of 2022, the district should have whatever money that the state is reimbursing us for.
So the district fronts the money, and then we ask for reimbursement?
Yes. So yeah, for the,
Now, is that like a supplementary income, or is that a retirement fund?
no. The closest answer I could find, is that it'd be akin to a, voluntary deduction where it kind of goes into,
To make the 11-month employee get a 12-month pay?
correct, yes, and then what the employee contributes, then the state would match, so if assuming everything's dollar for dollar, just for the sake of round numbers, if I'm putting $50 a month in, the state will match another $50. So at the end of the year, I'm getting my $600 that I contributed over the course of the year,
Plus their
plus the state's less statutory deductions, because everything comes through payroll, and so Medicare and all of that stuff would have to come out because taxes and laws, and we, can't get around those.
And this money's fenced from the state, so it can't be diverted?
Correct. Yes,
It's for this program?
Yes, I did reach out to CDE to verify that, okay, at this point, if there's a deferral with this program being impacted, then the best they could tell me was at present time, there's nothing pending that would delay the state from their obligation to do the reimbursement. So,
Now, the money that is taken out of the say I want to do my $50 a day, does that come off my net or my gross?
that would come off your gross.
Gross.
Yeah.
So my taxes would not be impacted.
No, they would not. No, there's not a tax deferral or savings to this
Well,
program.
the reason I ask is it's depending off the net side.
Yeah.
Then your tax double because you get taxed on it the first time, you defer it for the future, and then when you get it, you get taxed again. So as long as it's on the gross side.
Yeah, my understanding it would be on the gross side where it'll get taxed when it's coming out as part of their overall gross pay, but when it goes back, it will not be taxed again.
Okay.
Only the state contribution will be, but not the part that the employee has already contributed.
And even if it was, the employee would have to elect to take that risk?
Yes, the district, there's not a workaround for the district that would then, when we report our quarterly taxes, not get us into hot water.
So what exactly do you need from us? I know it's informational, but we've got to, is this something we need to vote on? Because by January 21st, there's no more meetings.
Yeah, the action doesn't, or the participation doesn't necessarily need board approval.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure everybody was aware of what the program was and what it contains.
Thank you.
And then here's getting into our district costs. The maximum contribution of the state does not reimburse the district for the cost of benefits. So when we pay out the upfront cost of the state side, there's still employer pay taxes that will have to come out. And that part does not get reimbursed at all.
That's finished. As long as it comes out with gross and not the net, it doesn't affect the district that much.
And it's only on the matching fund piece, right?
We'll pay on their, Social Security through the end of the year anyway, as part of the normal wage, but. And then there is the upfront cost, which would be reimbursed a few months after our payment is made during the summer recess. Rough totals, having only been here for the week, I used our current payroll data to work off of. So I took our current eligible employees that met all three of our criteria of earnings, been employed with the district long enough, and worked within the parameters of the months given. And then out of everybody, I took 75% and assumed, okay, at the top end, we'll have 75% contributing a full 10%. And then for the state side, just doing a 1-to-1 max to see what the estimate would be with what I'm at this point gut feeling only assuming would be at the high end of everything. So the amount the district would have to pay up front is $258,000 roughly. And that money would be reimbursed. The non-reimbursed part would be about $27,000 for the statutory benefits and all of this. So for what could be a couple $1,000s extra a month for a person, or for the year for a person, the district cost isn't super extravagant to me, at least in terms of the amount of money that would be reimbursed back to employees at a $258,000. Currently, all of our 11-month employees classified are on summer deferral already, so they're already having about 9% or so taken out of each of their end-of-month paychecks, so that come July, that summer deferral is released back to them, so it's a summer savings account, basically, without any interest accruing for them. And then per the CSEA collective bargaining agreement, classified employees that are under 12 months also have their vacation, whatever their balance at the end of the school year is paid out to them. So that's what we're currently operating under.
So we're encouraging people not to take a break and recharge their batteries. Okay.
Yeah, there's some incentive to that, but also there's other language about when folks can actually use vacation days in their contract anyway. So, possible downsides, if, rough math is accurate, we're out at, 30,000. And again, it all depends on how many people actually participate. So, that money it's spent, we aren't getting that part back. And then there's a wait for the reimbursement from the state. So if there are other costs that we are considering, whether it's construction, large capital expenditure that might put the cash or the district in the cash poor position at the beginning of the year, at least through that period, it is something to consider. And at present time, as far as I could find out, putting this PowerPoint together, no other districts in Kern County are participating at this time. So getting a clear answer of exactly how the process would work from my district advisors at the county office. They got a rough idea, but they haven't given me a clear answer of, okay, this is how the process would work. But all of this would go into effect for next school year, so there's plenty of time to figure that part out.
So what's our lowest level in new employee, lowest level pay for a year?
For a year?
About 50, 40, 32. We got to include benefits and everything.
Yeah.
So this would be about, understanding if we do this. So if we do this would be 0.5 FTE for wanting to bring people on, meaning full-time equivalent employee. That would be a half person. So by doing this, you may give up bringing somebody back with budgets and balances all the same.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a possible downside as well for the CSEA that's asking for that understanding. It could be a position that you shoot one for the bit of all.
Yeah.
So.
And that's the end of my sentence.
I just gotta make a comment on that. Before anybody does anything, like, really think about it, we just came out of a low grade in our financials part of our district, so let's just really think about that part of it.
So we have to actually keep going on it March 1st.
No, we have till January 1 to notify employees that we are going to do it, so we really have.
Right, but we have to tell them that, hey, we're thinking about doing this. Now everybody who wants to participate, because every time they participate,
Start looking at further than
right.
And once if we notify people by January that we are participating, then we're participating. We can't turn around and say, never mind, we changed our mind, we re-evaluated it. By that point, it'll be too late.
So we need to commit on what you.
We're thinking maybe you're looking at 75%.
That was just a high-end estimate based off of.
Personally, think you might get 20.
Mr. Irving, can you give me an idea, when you talk about our classified staff who participate on their own in the 9%, that they have taken out of their check, that obviously that we're not matching those funds?
Mm-hmm.
What percent of our classified staff are doing that on a regular basis?
They're all doing it. It's the way our payroll system is set up currently, that all of them, it's part of just setting them up as an employee if they're working less than 12 months.
So as I hear you say that, then with that 9% that they are currently doing, would they be taking that out in addition to, if that's part of what we set up for them, would there be an additional amount taken out for this particular program for the matching funds? Or could that 9% be transferred into this?
That could, if they elected to do a 9% that matches what they're already doing, that could be transferred to this. And we could go in and adjust the payroll system for next year for these employees, and so that they're not that, okay, we have 9 coming off already on our, just the way we normally operated. And then another 10 on that if they elect for basically 20%. So we can make adjustments to the payroll system to not include the current summer deferral process for them. And if they elect into that, or that would have to be probably a discussion for later with the unions to figure out.
Is that written in the contract
I
for that, so they get paid month after month?
I don't believe summer deferral is addressed in their contract at all, but I'd have to.
Well, I mean, either way, they elect if they want to give up 20% of their check, that's on them. I mean, that I imagine that would drive that number a little lower.
Yeah.
Than the 100 or 75%.
Yeah.
Of what's going on. But if they elect it, I mean, you elect it, so I mean, it's a free tantrum.
It's just information.
So, I mean, which way are you leaning, Mr. Ward? I know you just got it handed to you, but if we're not going to meet again this year, you got to make a decision.
We can't vote on it because it's not an actual way.
Is it a votable claim?
It's not really something we have to have.
It's just a LEA.
I think we allow the employees to make their decision. It's their money. And basically the state's the one that's going to be floating the money for it, not us.
And we're probably looking at 20K out of the district's funds.
Well,
When else is it?
all we have to do is pay the half portion more than, say, the normal that we would pay on that, say it's $600, and then the state put in another $600. The only difference is we're paying taxes on the $600. not on the full amount, we're gonna be paying. this
Yeah,
no
that's,
matter
yeah,
what.
regardless that.
Right. So, as an employer, there is no downside to it, really. There isn't. I mean, they get the benefit, employees get a benefit of making a little extra money. And this is a 1 year shot, or right now it's only a 1 year shot, right?
Yeah, but my understanding is that if we elect to do it next year, come the year after, we'd be able to pull out of the program. It's not we sign up and then we're hooked onto it for time and I'm going forward.
I really don't see a downside for the district, other than, of course, we have to pay that money out there, which is really not that much. When you look at what, I mean, like Tanksley said, my guess, we'll be paying upfront about what one employee would cost. And then we'll end up getting that money back anyways. At this point, I see no downside.
What are your thoughts, Mr. Moore? I'm just trying to collect it all in my mind right now, but
Yeah, well, it's hard to,
I see downfalls and I don't see downfalls because, we might think that we have a low number coming into it. But can I ask a question?
Yeah,
We have January 1st
Yes.
to notify the CSEA employees that we're gonna go into this program.
Yes.
So we're allowed to go into this program, spend a year in this program, then realize we're getting ourselves in trouble or we don't like what we're doing and we can pull out. And then now how's all our CSEA employees gonna feel about this?
well,
That we let them on for a year, 2 years, and now you're not getting that money. So,
Well, the January 1st, we would notify by January 1st, by March 1st of 2022, CSA will let us know who wants to participate, how much they're willing to contribute. And then everything, that point going forward, come July or August, it'd be August for their first paycheck. Once the 21-22 school year starts, we'd start the deductions then, because at that point, by letting them know by January, we're already in for at least however many people want to participate.
What's our turnover rate for classified?
At present time, I don't know off the top of my head.
I mean, because it could grow potentially if people stay with the district, because you're gonna be, if you're under a year, you can't
Yeah.
participate, right? So if our turnover rate is high, it's gonna stay the same. Hopefully, we trim the turnover rate down and we keep the people, and they're happy in the district, so that would grow it as well. As the people become eligible, staying past that year, the new hirees, so that could increase, that it might be 200 eligible next year, I don't know how many employees are out there. That could grow as well, but it's still nominal.
I think if someone wants to give up a portion of their check, I mean, that's their decision. And I can't stop them from doing that, so.
I think we're good. Business and operations, approve resolution 2021-08, contingent tax liability. Mr. Prudy for action.
Alrighty, so I didn't prepare slides for this one or the next item, but contingent tax liability. Looking at the backup documents, the county office supplied us with a list of what our contingent tax liability is. That is $1.3 million, and all this is a routine annual process where people who are appealing their property taxes, the county will impound the money that they believe is owed to us on our behalf, and if the appeal goes through, because we've allowed the county to impound the money, the state will backfill the money that may have been obligated to us, and then, if we, decline their offer to impound the money for us, any money that is lost, the state will not backfill, but the state will, twice a year pull the money into an impound account on our behalf, and pending the end of whatever appeals process or the property taxes, let us pass the money on through to us or not.
So we're just impounding a portion of all the taxes that would come in
Just
to
the
ensure.
portion that is currently being billed. Yeah.
You want a simplified version of that? Huh? Would you like a simplified version of that?
Well, I think I understood it, but.
Yeah, so if you look at this page on 42, we took in, 2,665,430. They'll release to us with 1.36, and they'll hold the other in case an appeal goes through and we don't get that revenue. In other words, if my property taxes this year are $2,000, and I appeal and say, hey, my property has lost value, I want it reassessed. They assess it, if it comes out less, we'll have to refund me that money. So we'll eventually get this money back, if that money's their case. Somebody has done that's where that money comes out. And it has to be in an account. Years ago, there was a lawsuit against Chevron, or Chevron sued the state because they had to pay taxes on all their railroads that they had over in Bakersfield. And every year we had to do an income account for that lawsuit until that lawsuit was settled 10 years ago. But for many, many years, we had to do an income account just for that lawsuit. And that was, if there was 100,000, we tried to take out every year, put it aside, just because of that suit.
Okay, can I get a motion on resolution 27? Mario?
My second one.
Second, Bowman. All those in favor?
Aye.
Item B, approve resolution 2021-09 for the annual accounting and developmental fees for 1920, Fund 25 Capital Facilities Fees Fund. Mr. Irving for action.
All right, on page 47 is Exhibit A of our developer fee report. So this is again an annual report that is done to notify the board and the public, okay, we collect developer fees. How much are we collecting per square foot for residential and commercial for any construction that's over 500 square feet? So there's a $3.79 per square foot for residential and 61 cents per square foot for commercial. At the beginning of beginning of fiscal year 2019, fiscal year 20, the account had $100,142 in it and ended the year at $291,113.63. We collected a little bit over $500,000 in fees over the year. And then for the public improvement on which the fees were expended, the money went into leasing portable classrooms necessary to house our student population that exceed the capacity of our existing permanent classroom facilities. As far as anything that loans that came out of Fund 25, there was a $220,000 loan made to Fund 1, our general fund. And that loan was paid back, August 3rd of 2020, so that's all cleared up.
I make a motion to accept that, resolution.
Motion by Gutierrez, second by Moore, all those in favor? Aye. We have absent. Item C, appointment of labor negotiators, government code, section 54957.6, Board of Trustees will consider the appointment of one more labor negotiator to represent the board in collective bargaining agreement with the California Teachers Association and this California School Association to represent certified and class or certificated and classified employees respectively. The board will identify in open session any representatives designated. Presentation, Ms. Gaines, for action.
Yes, sir. At this time, I would like to ask the board to consider appointing our new CBO, Mr. Robert Irving, to be a member on our school district labor negotiating team as we move forward.
Okay, motion?
Make a motion that we accept that.
Mario?
More seconds?
Mr. Moore, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
3 ayes and 2 absent. Next, RES building project. They approved 3K building services proposal for 3 kindergarten classrooms at RES for inspector of record. This is for action presentation, Mrs. Gaines.
Yes, sir, and we have, we need to make an amendment because the 3K building services that you have in your packet was for an amount of $85,000. We received a new quote today from 3K Building Services. Basically, the inspector of record will look over our project of the 6 classrooms at Rosamond Elementary School. As was explained to me, construction is usually delineated in 3 categories. One would be a huge project, like maybe the construction of an entire school, something to that level. A 2 would be a smaller type project, and a 3 would be even a rather small project. We believe that this project of the 6 classrooms falls as more of a level 2. And so in re-explaining this to 3K Building Services, the amount was decreased from $85,000 down to $45,000, with an understanding that should the hours surpass as we get further into the project, there may be an allotment for or an allowance for additional hours.
Right, like in the statement of fact in here, it states that any overtime and everything would be extra. If we have been, for some reason, we have kids on campus that have been on the weekend or after hours,
Right.
That would cost more.
Right.
This is a company that Raleigh was looking into and approved, correct?
Yes.
And in that case, I will make a motion that we approve.
A motion by Gutierrez, second by Tanksley. All those in favor? Aye. 2 absent. All right, next item B is ratify change order number 1 for Earth Systems to originate agreement number PAL 24002 dated 4/24/20 for RES pre-K expansion project. Presentation by Mrs. Gaines for action.
Yes, the initial agreement that you approved on April 24th was done prior to DSA, I guess, has now a new building code. And so to comply with DSA, which we need to do because our project is already in the hands of DSA, we needed to adjust it. We need the modification of the first soil report to meet their new requirements of the DSA.
And basically, the building code for this type of building has been changed since the original contract was signed. So now we have to go back and they're going to come out and retest for very little, to comply to the new codes.
Yes.
So I will, make a motion to accept their updated proposal.
More seconds.
Motion by Gutierrez, Moore second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Two absent.
Anyway, what we've been doing, in case you didn't know, I'm sure you don't, we've been doing 6 more classrooms over at RES. Actually, no, it's
6.
6.
3 buildings, 6
Three
rooms.
buildings. Three what?
3 buildings,
buildings.
6 classrooms.
6 classrooms. The state is actually going to pay us to put in things like this.
I remember that, I was a student.
Well, actually, we were going to originally build those, but we basically ran out of money for that last one. Now the state's actually going to pay us to put the buildings in. And this is so we can continue with that cash expense on ours. So we've been in this process since on April. I mean, it's been, they wanted us to have everything signed, done, stamped, ready to show by October. We've been.
Okay, item 9, personnel items. Approve the following list of personnel items, presented Mrs. Gaines for action.
Yes, as you can see, we just have a couple of, we have resignation and hire on for your approval this evening, and it's not been a whole lot of activity in the HR as far as hiring during this time.
And motion that we accept as written.
Motion by Mario, Mr. Moore second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 3 ayes and 2 absent. And who wants it?
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 8:15.
I'll second Moore motion. Mr. Gutierrez second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 3 and 2 absent.
Huh.